From the high 10, it's Everyday Shenanigans, Hump Day. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for following Crime Vault, an extension of Everyday Shenanigans. Today's story is Gloria Williams, an African American woman that drove from the state of South Carolina, to Florida, walked into a hospital and stole an infant girl out of the mother's hospital room. First Coast News is the source. Thank you for joining me.
Whoever has my baby or knows the whereabouts of my baby, please, I'm begging you, please bring me my baby, please.
Just 8 hours after she was born, Kamaya Mobley taken.
It doesn't matter how we get the baby back, just that we get the baby back.
Today, after 18 years, a young woman learns who she really is as the mystery behind her disappearance is solved, and the woman Kamaya called Mom is behind bars.
It's one of the biggest stories across the nation tonight. A baby stolen 18 years ago is found alive. This is First Coast News at 11. I'm Anthony Austin. We're talking about Kamaya Mobley. She learned her true identity today. Here's a look at her baby photo. Maybe you remember seeing this photo back in 1998. The case of missing baby Kamaya captivated our city and drew national attention. Today, the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office arrested 51-year-old Gloria Williams in Walterboro, South Carolina, about 4 hours north here of Jacksonville. Investigators say Williams took Kamaya and raised her as her own under a different name. And for the last 18 years, the pair, they've been living as mother and daughter. Well, tonight, all of that is changing. Her biological family is overwhelmed.
I tell you, ain't nothing like today. Y'all tell everybody that Friday the 13th is not always a bad day. See, I just really want to know how she was doing. And we seen her. We seen her today. I'm so out of breath. I'm so. She said, told her mama that she looked like her daddy and all that. Been talking real. She sounds so intelligent, so respectful. And she said she'll be here to see us. But I thank God today. I thank God today. I thank God today. Oh, yes, sir.
A very emotional grandmother there. We have the story covered from every angle, but we start with new information tonight about Kamaya's biological mother. Our Julia Janae is live at the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office with the latest. Julia, what can you tell?
That's right, Anthony. Today we went to the home of Shanara Mobley, the birth mother of Kamaya, and we talked to neighbors who said that she was likely too emotional to talk to us. We do believe that she was inside, and they told us that they know all about Kamaya, that she, the mother, threw birthday parties every year for her missing daughter. Here's a post that she put on her Facebook page back in 2014, celebrating her daughter's 16th birthday, saying that you are truly loved wherever you are. Now, while we were there this evening, 2 JSO officers in patrol cars arrived at the Mobley home. Some people left the house, got into a family vehicle, then those 2 police units in a caravan with that vehicle left the Mobley house. Now, JSO tells us they can't confirm the destination or where or when a reunion between the mother and the daughter will occur, but many who have seen this story are characterizing it as a bittersweet one, especially for that 18-year-old who didn't know she had family and she is now meeting new family for the first time, and her mother that she's known her entire life now facing charges and will be brought here to JSO to face those charges. In Walterboro, South Carolina is where she is now, and our own Clark Foraker joins us now from South Carolina. Clark.
Yeah, Julie, now the news has spread throughout this small South Carolina town, but early this morning when this all started, no one here even knew the name Kamaya Mobley. The 18-year-old woman had for her whole life lived here and gone by a different name. So this news has shocked this community. It's a peaceful town, and something this elaborate rarely happens here, both the attention from law enforcement and from the media, now that Kamaya's been found. She was in court today, Gloria Williams was, and that is the woman that Kamaya's known as her mother for her whole life, and it was, simply put, a very emotional hearing.
The city of Walterboro is simply put confused. why the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office is even here. For the past 18 years, they've not known Kamaya Mobley, but a different woman.
Sweet, intelligent, smart. It's just so much of stuff that I can't really name. She was everything that a mother would want in a daughter.
Neighbor Lakeisha Jenkins knew the family well. She worked with Gloria Williams, a woman known around here as Mom.
And I can't believe what I was hearing, what I seen, because, like I said, I never knew Gloria would do that.
The family is well respected in the community. It's why so many are shocked and say they're not turning on Gloria Williams or the young woman she raised.
She would come over here, she would sit on the porch, and she would knock on the door. She'd be like, "Hey, Miss Keisha," because she said Miss, she had manners. Williams
and the young woman were both in a courtroom this afternoon. The judge allowed the two to embrace. The confusion overwhelming for the young woman, whose definition of family is forever changed.
Kamaya told her mom she loved her and that she was praying for her. Gloria Williams, who's been arrested for kidnapping and avoiding justice charges, she's basically waived bond today. She'll be extradited back to Florida and go before a judge there administratively, and that really is the next step in this case. Live in Walterboro, South Carolina, I'm Clark Fourier, First Coast News.
Clark, thank you. Also new tonight, for the first time, we're hearing from a woman who was there at University Medical Center, now which is known as UF Health, when baby Kamaya was taken. She says she saw the alleged kidnapper that you see here, Gloria Williams. Our Honey Rodriguez sat down with her tonight and has the latest on what she told her.
That's right, Anthony. And that woman, her name is Quennell Henderson, and she talked to me about what she remembers that day almost 18 years ago. She says it was a mix of emotions. What started off being a day of celebration for her as she met her granddaughter turned into a very chaotic evening.
She finally arrived, and so we were just so excited about seeing her.
This is Quennell Henderson's granddaughter. She was born prematurely July 7th, 1998, at what was then University Medical Center. Henderson visited her daughter-in-law and newborn granddaughter 3 days later, July 10th.
I went upstairs to see her. She was a tiny little thing. She only weighed like 2 pounds.
She also remembers seeing something unusual a few minutes after her visit with the newborn.
And as I was coming downstairs on the elevator, there was this black female that you guys are showing the picture of and everything like that. She was pushing a laundry cart. She came by me very, very fast, pushing the laundry cart. And there was a black male with her. I didn't think anything of it.
That day, July 10th, while Henderson was visiting her granddaughter, Kamaya Mobley was kidnapped from the hospital. News of her disappearance spread fast.
They were, stopping everybody and, checking bags and things like that. I seen police officers everywhere in every exit.
Henderson says she was confused and scared when she heard the news.
We were scared. We were very concerned, to know that something of this magnitude had happened.
She believes it could have been her grandchild taken instead.
We just felt, sadness for that family that baby had been taken.
But today she tells me she couldn't be happier for that family and that little girl who is now 18 years old and is back with family once again. Anthony, back to you.
All right, let's talk about hospital security now. It has changed dramatically in the past 18 years. UF Health Jacksonville tells us new measures include more security guards, matching armbands for mothers and their newborns, and locked doors protected by key cards. We also stopped over at Memorial Hospital. They say their security measures evolve continually. It has to do with education and making sure their employees know what to look out for. And this case affected so many in this community, and particularly those in law enforcement. Our Ann Schindler spoke to some of those who were involved in the earliest days of this case.
It's hard to overstate just how all-consuming this case was. Police detectives chased more than 2,000 leads. They traveled as far as Nova Scotia and Puerto Rico. Now, most of those involved have long since retired, but Kamaya Mobley is a name they will never forget.
On Friday, Sheriff Mike Williams praised the work of his cold case squad for chasing down the tip that found Kamaya Mobley. But the tip itself came from a hotline created by Jacksonville attorney Jay Howell. The former national director of the Center for Missing and Exploited Children says they created the 800 hotline to connect with ordinary people.
30 years ago, when we set up that hotline, we would have said that a hospital abduction recovery decades later is, I don't know if that can happen, but we were pleasantly surprised that it has happened.
Former JSO director George Luders was in charge of coordinating the investigation. He has not forgotten the intensity of that search.
You could not turn anywhere in the city of Jacksonville or surrounding areas during this time that her picture was not on, that her name was not mentioned. You see somebody pushing a baby in a stroller, you would stop and look to see if it resembled Kamaya's composite. It was just automatic. That's how to the forefront it was back in 1998, that everybody was looking for that baby.
When he retired after 32 years, he says he and others had lost hope that she'd ever be found alive.
To be honest with you, after we had pursued all those tips and leads, the thought of her not being alive would kind of come to the forefront, that maybe someone had killed her and buried her, disposed of the body or something like that, where we would never know what happened to her. So this is really a joyous outcome on it.
Interestingly, this is not the oldest hospital abduction case. Howell recalled the case of Carlina White, who was abducted from a New York hospital as an infant. She eventually solved her own kidnapping when she realized the woman who raised her was in fact her abductor. That woman was sentenced to 23 years in prison, one for every year the girl was missing. Ann Schindler, First Coast News.
And we were the first to break this story on air and online. You can download the First Coast News app for the latest up-to-the-minute information on this case. Still ahead tonight on First Coast News at 11, an SUV slams right.
All right, that's First Coast News, bringing that said information pertaining to Gloria Williams and Kamaya Mobley. At the beginning of this commentary, you will hear neighbors speak of the two, mother and daughter, being respectful, daughter being respectful. But as you listen to the commentary I'm going to bring to you, you will see that there's another side to the young lady. Has she changed her life? Because this is older commentary. I should hope so. She had a very nasty attitude, the young lady. Some could say, well, it's because of what she was going through once she found out that the woman that raised her was not her biological mother and that she was kidnapped out of a hospital in Florida. But then when you read comments in the video, you'll see some will say, no, that's anger she's always had. Perhaps Gloria spoiled her, didn't make her mind, because you will hear very foul language in this Crime Vault story this afternoon that will probably be disturbing to some of you, because you will try to understand if everyone has had such great things to say about Gloria Williams as a person. She was a good mother. How is it that the child turned out to be so vile in the tongue? Very nasty disposition for a young lady. And you don't get that type of anger at 18. It had to have come from somewhere. And you will hear that in the upcoming audio. 18 years. And she got 18 years. 18 years, 1 year per year that the child was missing from her biological parents. How did it come to this? How did nobody notice this child missing? I mean, not missing, but the people that were with her, with Gloria, did they not see the signs that something was off with the child? I've often thought this, because what I had to tell myself is that Gloria knew exactly what she was doing. She claimed she was on autopilot. She claimed she just drove down the highway, I-95, and just landed in Florida, which is 4 hours away. You hear that in this First Coast News. How did you just end up in Florida, walking through a hospital, walking with a bag? We hear that. You had a bag with you. So that means you had knowledge that you were going to do something. Because why did you need the bag? What was in the bag? possibly formula, keep the baby quiet at some point, because you got to be able to get the baby out, take the baby down the highway, put the baby in a car seat. Did you even have a car seat in your car? See, all those things would go to show premeditation. You hear in this commentary, this black lady saying she saw her with a man pushing a laundry cart in the hospital. I've never heard any commentary that she had a co-conspirator and nobody else was arrested with her as a co-conspirator. So who was the black male? Was it a boyfriend, friend, confidant, husband, what? Because it was also said she was married at the time, but I don't believe they were together. Who is this male that this woman is speaking of? Or is this the woman that she thinks is Gloria? Because the photo they show of her at the time, short hair, looks like short dreadlocks. And a lot of times the pictures do not resemble the suspect. And I've seen many drawings of people and people will swear they look like that person, but when I look at them, I don't see the same. It's a very interesting storyline. Okay. Let's go to ABC News. Kamaya Mobley shares about learning from her mother she was stolen as a baby. Thank you for joining me. If you'd like to donate to the channel, $BigAngie129 Cash App, all super chats, stickers are welcome during this live. Thank you all so much for joining me. Hello, everybody in the chat. Thanks for tuning in.
Baby snatched from the hospital. Please bring back my child.
It was the kidnapping of a newborn baby that rattled the nation.
The search is on for Kamaya and her abductor.
In 1998, Kamaya Mobley was stolen from her mother, Shanara Mobley, at a Jacksonville, Florida hospital. She was only 8 hours old.
Please, really hurting me inside. I cannot sit and hold her. Will you please bring me back my child?
18 years later, she was miraculously found alive, living as Alexis Manigault.
In South Carolina, we found an 18-year-old young woman with the same date of birth, but a different name.
The heart-wrenching reality was that the kidnapper, Gloria Williams, had raised Kamaya as her own daughter.
You're not mine. Your mother and father sitting right here.
3 years after learning that her life was built on a lie, Kamaya is sitting down to talk about how her life has changed.
Gloria, what type of mother was she?
Very easygoing, down to earth, lenient. I feel like I had a regular good childhood. Honestly, I don't have nothing bad to say.
Now 21 years old, Kamaya is balancing the relationships with her biological family and the woman she called mom.
I actually put work in to try to make these two families happy.
Do you want to see Gloria?
I do. I just want to let her know I'm okay.
Kamaya's kidnapping and the emotional trauma that followed is now a Lifetime documentary.
I am your mother, Kamaya. I am your mother.
And a feature film, Stolen by My Mother, the Kamaya Mobley story.
Oh, what's going on? I did something bad. You might think it's unforgivable.
Both made in part by Rock and Robin Productions, my production company. In 1997, Shanara was 15 years old when she found out she was having a baby with her boyfriend, Craig Aiken.
We was excited. Like being in a boyfriend-girlfriend relationship, we started planning as being in a family to raise our daughter.
On July 10th, 1998, Shanara Mobley gave birth to little Kamaya just before 7 a.m.
You know, I'm looking like this baby, like this is really my baby, like so big and beautiful.
On this day, a woman is driving down from Charleston, South Carolina. Her name is Gloria Williams. She's still dressed in her work uniform, her green scrubs, and a floral top. She ended up in Jacksonville, in this hospital. We saw in the surveillance video Gloria Williams pacing the halls. Sometime around 11 o'clock, Gloria Williams walked into room 328. Shanara Mobley is all by herself. There was no reason that Shanara didn't think that she was a nurse.
And she tells Shanara, hey, I need to take your baby to get shots. I'll bring your child back. And that was the last time Shannara saw Kamaya.
That moment vividly portrayed in the Lifetime movie.
And I'll be gone 15 minutes and then I'm gonna bring her right back and y'all can keep getting to know each other. Okay?
Authorities began a manhunt for Gloria and the baby.
We're currently tracking over 75 leads.
$50,000 reward for the safe return of the infant.
At the time of the kidnapping, Gloria Williams was in a tumultuous relationship with a man named Charles Manigault. She says she got pregnant and hoped the baby would make things better.
And I remember on the phone with her, he was fighting with her.
And I told him one time, I said, when someone pregnant with your child, you're supposed to be the lovingest person in the world.
Gloria claimed she suffered a miscarriage but never told anyone she lost the baby.
One day, Gloria went to work. She came home. I go to the door, and she had the baby. I said, what is this?
So when she arrives with this baby, she tells her mother that she went into labor while she was at work near Charleston.
There was no reason for anyone to suspect that Gloria had taken this child.
She renamed Kamaya Alexis and raised her as her own.
Generally, women who abduct babies are either in the midst of a really rocky romance or they've lost a child. So here she kind of has both risk factors.
The truth came out when Alexis, as she was called, became a teenager and applied for a job at a restaurant. Gloria did not want you to get a job because to get a job, you'd have to need a social security number.
The social, the birth certificate.
Yeah.
It was a lot.
She said Gloria confessed to her on their front steps. How were you able to keep it a secret once Gloria told you the truth? That she was not your biological mother?
You know, you're just like having another out-of-body experience. Like, oh, look, people make it seem like I was protecting her, but you also got to understand, you're telling like a 16-year-old this. So what do I do?
Not knowing what to do, she tried to go on with her life. But just a few months later, police in Jacksonville started investigating 2 anonymous tips claiming the teenager everyone knew as Alexis was kidnapped. Police pull up her birth certificate at her high school in South Carolina and discover it's a fake.
The Jacksonville police drive up to South Carolina. They bring in Gloria Williams to talk.
Well, there's a missing persons case, the missing persons Kamaya. You willing to talk to me about this investigation?
Continue to have a warrant for my arrest.
Court-ordered DNA tests revealed Alexis Manigault was in fact Kamaya Mobley.
U.S. residents, listen up. If you were born to...
Sorry about that. Thank you for joining me. This is Crime Vault.
I was so close to her, and I wonder sometimes whether Gloria feels that. She might have ruined her life and Alexis' life.
Gloria was arrested and charged with kidnapping.
They allowed Alexis to go in and have a few words before they did take her away.
That was my lowest point right there.
Gloria pled guilty to the charges, the anguish of both families on full display during her sentencing.
We love her, we want her to come home. I'm still hurting. When you reaching up to my child, that is my child. I am your mother, Kamaya. I am your mother.
On the stand, Gloria asked for forgiveness.
I never meant to hurt you. I just love that child so, and I hope you can find it in your heart and forgive me.
Caught between these two mothers is Kamaya. Have you forgiven Gloria for kidnapping you?
Yes. I've never really felt no malice.
Can you understand why some people find it hard to grasp that you still have such a close relationship with Gloria?
The reason why people kind of have a hard time because they haven't been in the situation. That's just how I feel with that. It's like they can't tell me anything to really help me at this point.
Your biological mother.
Mm-hmm.
What is your relationship with her?
It's a roller coaster with us.
Is there a reason why you think that is?
I feel like she just thinks everything with me has Gloria written over it. Maybe that's it. I don't know.
Shannara wants to step into this role of being the mother that she so deeply longed for 18 years. But it's a bond that occurs and can only occur naturally over time.
We asked Shannara to sit down and do an interview, and she respectfully declined. Why do you think that is?
She having a hard time getting over Kamaya calling Gloria mother.
Kamaya is getting to know her biological family in Florida, including her father, Craig Aiken. What was that first meeting like when you saw Kamaya for the first time?
She was like me. I was just happy, and she came right off as Daddy.
We just kind of hugged each other. We could have been in a quiet room and felt peace just looking at each other, you know?
Kamaya says she's now ready to move on, start a new life in a new city, ultimately knowing she has two families out there that love her.
Because of my experiences in the last couple of years, it's kind of forced me to have an open mind. I think I'm a pretty good aunt. I think I'm a pretty good sister. I think I'm a pretty good person, though. I think I'm all right.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News.
ABC News is the source. Thank you, Robin. This is a very dicey story because you hear the young lady saying she has no malice towards Gloria for kidnapping her. And she says you weren't in her shoes, so you can't understand. This is true. Some of us can't because we have not experienced what you've experienced. But a lot of people will argue and dispute your attitude. Your attitude was very nasty in the beginning when all this unfolded. And the reason why is because of your tongue. I will play you commentary from Yana Van Zant from the OWN Network, where I call her Yaya. Yaya tried to interview her. It was a very disgusting TV episode to give you a glimpse into this young lady. I pray that her attitude has changed. She says she has worked on her patience, but her mouth was so vile. And I get where people are saying that doesn't just come overnight. You understand. You can change, of course, from being a teenager to adulthood. And possibly she was angry because she didn't want people telling her what to do and how to think, and she shouldn't have a relationship with Gloria. But the mother, the bio mother, had a baby at 16. So her spirit has been troubled for all those years, not having that child. Now, naturally, she's had other children, raised other children. But she wanted this child, and she had every right to want that child because it was her child. So she's angry, probably still angry at Gloria. She doesn't want Gloria interfering. She doesn't want Gloria to have contact with this child. But the girl wants to still bond with this woman. She even spoke at her hearing, spoke at her appeal hearing. And this is where I feel like the problem is because Gloria is still in contact with her. She still wants contact with Gloria, and the bio mother can't accept that. And I get that. I find it interesting she gravitated more towards the father. They do look alike. So there was an instant bond, similar attitude, disposition. But I do believe he probably felt some type of way as well towards Gloria. He just probably wasn't as boisterous. I'm not sure. But you hear more negativity coming out of the bio mother. She doesn't want her child continuously bonding with Gloria. Because when you think about it, it makes sense. How can I bond with you? You're new to me, although I gave birth to you. You're still talking to the kidnapper. You still love the kidnapper. You're going to keep mentioning the kidnapper's name. How can I bond with you if you're going to still have contact with the kidnapper and revering the kidnapper? You hear her saying this in the interview with Robin. I have no malice towards Gloria for stealing me out of a hospital. So see, this young lady was oblivious to the fact that she was stolen. It doesn't matter that Gloria was nice to you, raising you. She stole you, which is a crime. It is a felony. And she raised you as her own with fake documents. And I also like to know who was the source of the tips. That's a First Coast News. That's a lot of money for a black baby, I must say. That's a lot of money. But somebody got suspicious of this child to send in the tip. And who was it? Because they said they got 2 tips. Were the tips from Florida or South Carolina? And perhaps somebody from South Carolina called in when they realized the documents were fake and didn't add up. Because naturally, when they run your social security number, it's going to come back on the computer that it's not valid. You use your social security number for anything, a flag will go off in whatever computer system they're entering in that social security number. So now you have to ask the ultimate question. How did Gloria put her through school? They show an ID that they were making years ago with children, for children in case they got kidnapped or missing. Have the little picture on an ID. Schools started administering those IDs for children. But at some point, you had to have given some type of information to get that ID made. So how did you get her shots done as a child? You have to have, once again, birth certificate, social security card. Where did she get the fake documents? And how in the world you go almost 16 years on fake documents and nobody questioned, not a doctor, nurse, receptionist, school. See, this is where the problem lies. Because you have to ask yourself, what documents did Gloria use? Very baffling story. I also have a problem with when she lost the baby. This is very tricky to me as well. You lost the baby, said you went to work, come back with a baby, had a miscarriage. So how long was it from the time she miscarried to the time she went and stole the baby? Nobody was suspicious when she came up with a baby and didn't call nobody from the hospital to say, hey, come to the hospital, I'm in labor. Nobody found that strange. Her own mother, you didn't find that strange, ma'am? Gloria just pops up with an infant and you're, oh, you had the baby? Oh yeah, I was over at work and I was going into labor, but she didn't call nobody. See, these are the things that makes no sense. And there's always somebody that notices something off, but they don't say anything. They may whisper it to somebody else, but they don't call authorities. So I'm going to ask the ultimate question. What is the timeline between the day she lost her child till the day she went and kidnapped the baby and brought the baby back to South Carolina and said, voila, here's the baby? 2 weeks, 1 week, a month, what? Because she obviously had a baby shower. She said her mom bought her a crib. So allegedly she was pregnant. Allegedly. So then you have to question that. Was she actually pregnant? And another thing you hear from Gloria, which is suspect to me. She said she was passing blood, call a doctor. He said, oh, it's normal because you hadn't had a cycle or been pregnant in a while, blah, blah, blah. This is BS. Because there's no way if you were near giving birth, near 9 months of pregnancy, let's say, because most women have a shower right before giving birth, at least a month before. So if you're at least 7 to 9 months pregnant, how in the world could you pass blood and not notice a fetus in the blood? I'll wait. See, that right there is suspect. To lead me to believe this was premeditated to go kidnap this baby. You want a sane woman, a 51, to believe you were passing blood, and in the blood, you never looked in the toilet or undergarments or whatever and noticed a whole baby, or at least, as I said, a 7 to 9 month baby, because we don't really know what month she passed blood. That's why I said all of this is suspect. And when you're dealing with a diabolical mind, anybody bold enough to steal a child, I'm not about to believe anything you say. I'm not about to believe anything. I was depressed, I was this, I was traumatized, because you don't know who you're talking to. And to this day, I do not believe that Gloria Williams has any remorse for stealing that child out of that hospital, because she asked for a reduction in her sentence on appeal. and she had no right to ask. You stole a whole child. Doesn't matter what your intentions are. You stole a baby. It's called kidnapping. So therefore, you deserve every damn day in that prison. And the fact that you felt like it was cruel and unusual punishment shows me that Gloria Williams has no remorse for stealing that child, because you wouldn't even have the audacity to ask a judge to reduce your sentence. Her having a black purse bag in the hospital, that means you walked in there what? With a bag with a purse? The young lady didn't notice that was strange? Why are you walking around with a bag? Purse. If you're on shift, what do you need your purse while you're doing your rounds? See, all these things nobody's paying attention to. They have her on camera walking back and forth. You'll see this in this news clip I just played by ABC. Walking in the hospital with a gown over her own scrubs. Nobody was suspicious of her walking back and forth. So she obviously entered the hospital in the AM, okay? But on camera. So how did she get the baby out of the hospital? Because nobody's going to notice this woman walking around with a gown over scrubs and carrying an infant out of the hospital. Nobody notices this. Except for some black lady who's up there visiting her own grandchild, that she saw her pushing a laundry cart with a male. Now, the man could be just walking and talking to her. I don't know, because I haven't heard of another conspirator being arrested or accompanying Gloria in or out of the hospital during this event. This is a very bizarre story. And everybody has a reason to feel how they feel except for Gloria. I don't care what Gloria feels. She's irrelevant to me. But the daughter, you will hear commentary, very nasty attitude, very ugly towards Iyanla Vanzant. Then in the next commentary, you hear her talking. She seems giddy as you heard her talking to Robin. It's a very weird dynamic. Almost to where I think the child didn't even really care that the woman stole her. And that to me is discerning and very disturbing. To not feel anything for your biological mother, what she was going through, not having you around. And you will hear a commentary from the bio mother that will possibly be disturbing as well. Because at one point during the interview, she tells the reporter, I wish she had never came back. Because she felt like Gloria was interfering with her bonding with her child. Very disturbing information. I'm going to go on to the next video. Thank you all so much for joining me. This is Crime Vault. Okay. This is from the OWN Network 4 years ago. And the commentary I just played from ABC News was 2 years ago. So now we're going to go on farther back when all this unfolded. And Iyanla is trying to talk to Kamaya Mobley about her pain of being kidnapped. This is just a short clip of the woman's disposition at the time, the young girl. Thank you for joining me.
Bluetooth connected.
To you about the day she took you from your birth mother.
You don't talk about it. I try not to talk about it.
Why not?
I just don't want to.
4 years ago, this commentary.
And denial. Classic. But there's gonna come a moment when you gotta look at all of this, when you gotta feel all of this. My prayer for you was that you would be able to do it sooner rather than later, and do it at a time when you have some help and support. Because it's not going to be pretty. I can't even imagine the trauma in your mind and heart. Your mommy, who raised you, is in jail. And you miss her. And the woman who birthed you, who you barely know, ain't speaking to you, or at least didn't show up. How could your mother not show up for you today?
when you watch this commentary, you see the young lady is very numb to this information. This is from the whole network where Kamaya goes off on Ayala and her crew. Thank you for joining me.
Craig to stand up and give his daughter the support and guidance she needs to.
The commentary I'm about to play is very derogatory in nature. Feel free to remove yourself from the listening device because it is very harsh language from the young lady towards Ayala Van Zandt. Thank you for joining me.
Move past rage into healing. Your father wants to see you. Your father wants to see you. Your father wants to see you.
I don't even know why she's sitting there.
Kamaya.
What the f*** they don't get? Stop talking to me. What the f*** is your problem, bitch?
Your father wants to see you.
Where? Come here. No, I'm not staying here. Y'all bitch, I'm gone. Daddy, I'm not gonna get the f*** out of me. I'm not doing it for these people. I'm not doing it. I'm curse this bitch out. I'm not just doing it. This is not some big bitch like bitch. I'll stab out this bitch. What the f*** can I do this? They gonna tell me I'm gonna stay here and go tell Swerve.
No. I said it was your choice. I said it was your choice.
Tell this old bitch she'll get slapped. Let her. Can you please let her know that? Can you? I done slapped bigger bitches for less than that. Come on, I don't argue with this.
How can you put this on the board?
Cause he ain't never seen this side. He never had to see this side.
Why not?
Exactly. Cause
who you are.
I'm gonna tell me. I'm gonna stay someplace and tell the person I can't out here.
I did not tell you, Daddy. I said to her, I gave her family an assignment that they were doing tonight. And if she called, they would not answer the phone. Isn't that the assignment I gave you?
So why would you make it so that I can't leave? Big man looking at
This is a problem. Yeah, but that's what I'm here for. That's what. Listen to me. All day long, I've been saying to your daughter, "What do you feel?" No, I understand that, but I'm not. The words don't bother me. What bothers me is that that's inside of her, and nobody is addressing it, Daddy. That's what bothers me.
Don't nobody need to address it. Bitch, you did it. How about that? How about that? Calm your body down, God.
I'm out.
I do to you, dumbass bitch.
I'm done.
Dumbass bitch.
I am complete.
And what you mean? What you mean?
There comes a moment when you just have to let go. I don't have to fight you for your healing. She's not ready. And they don't have the skills and the tools required to give her what she needs. And it's okay. It's okay. You can only take people to where they can go.
Exactly.
And you have to
let it go.
Let it go.
Amen. Say that, y'all. That's the truth. Walk away. That was content from 4 years ago on the old network. I'm going to bring you commentary of Ayala trying to check on her crew after that blow up. Feel free to go into the YouTube queue to watch the entire interview. I'm not playing all of it because it's winded. But either way, we know Yaya's intent is to help people overcome their emotions, depression, fear, anger. She's well intended. This girl has problems. It's obvious. Obviously has problems. And I can't see Yaya trying to do anything to harm her. And you have to ask yourself how a person can be so bitter at that time, 18 or 19 years of age. What are you bitter about? You bitter because you found out your mother that raised you is not your mother and kidnapped you. So if you don't have malice towards her, then who the hell are you mad at? You can't work it out with your mother at that time because the mother had her own issues with her child being kidnapped, and the kidnapper still want to have contact with the daughter, and the daughter still want to have contact with the kidnapper. It's understandable. And I understand this girl was going through something too, having to assess having love for a kidnapper. But her attitude shows you that Gloria did not make her child mind. Because you hear her say in the commentary I just played, she was very lenient. So she's basically saying, Gloria did not reprimand me. She let me do whatever I want to do. It's obvious. That's why she has a nasty attitude. As I said, this is years ago. Hopefully, Kamaya has a better attitude, disposition, a better tone. But here in this commentary, you can see a very angry young lady. This is Yaya having a conversation with her crew. Thank you so much for joining me.
Last night was tough on everyone, not just Kamaya and her family, but also the crew who helps put this show together.
I have to apologize.
No,
I am responsible.
She's hugging one of her cameramen.
I have to know how my crew is doing. Morning. How you doing? So let me put some face on, and then we're gonna have a conversation. Okay. Yeah? And how's the foot?
A little break, but it'll heal.
Yeah.
That's what the doctor said.
Yeah, it'll heal.
Yeah.
6 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah.
So here you see they're all standing outside of the house where they filmed the show. And a Caucasian man who was the executive producer of the show is standing there with crutches and a cast on his foot. So that means there was some type of altercation where he got injured by this foolishness by this young girl. Stay woke.
For you. I am growing. I just think that there's such an opportunity here for us to take what we do to another level. And I want to do that. But first, I want to make sure everybody on this crew is okay. The intention behind Yamla Fix My Life is not to create television. It is to save lives. I don't alter my methods for the cameras. The team is simply here to document the healing process. And as you saw, sometimes the healing process is toxic. So I'm checking in with those who were here last night in order to have them speak their experience so that we can move forward even if Kamaya cannot. So why are we here? Let's start there. I asked the guest, why are we here? Why is your foot up there?
We're here, I think, because yesterday ended abruptly, and we would normally be filming right now with our guests, and we don't have guests.
Yeah.
They left us. But I think at some point, it got to a point of no return.
Yeah.
Normally where there'd be that moment of, oh, this is going to come back into a healing moment. It just wasn't going to go there.
The violence. What happened with her yesterday towards me was what she was not able to demonstrate toward her abductive mother, or maybe she did. I have a secret suspicion that how she handled me yesterday was how she got what she wanted from her mother.
Exactly.
Because her mother would have to back down and give her what she wanted
for fear
that she would go out and say something or do something.
She didn't back down.
No, I couldn't back down. Your love never backs down in the face of fear. What we saw yesterday was sheer terror. Terror that she wasn't going to get her way. Terror that she was being taken into her feelings. And if you recall, I said several times, I either have to make her angry or break her heart. My belief was that we would have been able to recover her. Because you've seen us go into places. Was that kind of shocking for you yesterday that we couldn't recover?
To be honest with you, we're filming, I'm like, I don't know, Miss V. I don't know, Miss V. But that trigger, which I didn't think it was going to be a trigger, it just...
But you know, there are people who are going to see this, who are in that depth of pain, who are still going to see the big bad Iyanla push this poor, sorry little girl into a place, and, you know, she was mean to her. But this is what the father has done, which robbed him of being able to reel his daughter in yesterday so that she could get the help she needed. This is what we do when we don't have the tools, the equipment, the knowledge to support the people we love. We make somebody else wrong for their behavior. What separates Fix My Life from so-called reality television is that reality television exploits the drama, often going so far as to manufacture or script it. But in this show, we aren't dealing with drama, we're dealing with trauma. And that's the distinction we need to discuss. So let's look at the genre that we're in and how to take this beyond just being good reality TV, salacious prostitution of pain, into a whole nother thing.
Reality television is a situation where, and this is my personal opinion, where I believe that folks are exploited at their worst behaviors for television ratings. And
exploited and rewarded.
Yeah, exactly. Paid for bad behavior. So when children, and if you guys watch some of the other shows, she behaved just like they do on those other shows. Now, at that age of 19 years old, well, how does she know that except for watching television? You know, there's much more power in being at service to people than manipulating and taking advantage of people.
If that's your choice, we can't make that choice. What we can do is hold our standard, hold our intention, be a demonstration, and everything is not for everyone. You know, here's what I'm grateful about and proud of is that we all held the calm in the chaos, and we were able to hold the space as she went through her breakdown. Sheikah, what did you learn and how do you feel?
The conversation we just had kind of hurt me. I joined this show because I worked reality before I got here. And when I'm on the show like this, Fix My Life, to fix lives. And the pain is when we watch the lives come in broken and they walk out broken. Because if I hear something happen to her in 2 weeks, I'm going to cry as if I knew her personally. Not because I agree with the fact of what she did on set. I'm hurt because you didn't get what you deserve in life from healing. And it was kind of like handed to you. So I had to learn within myself. I'm like, as now growing into a leader of a production and work in television that's going to have chaos, it's going to have peace, it's going to have tears, it's going to have happiness. I have to be at a point content with Sheikah that if the job wasn't done, I can still say well done when I lay my head down.
It's called detachment.
Yeah. So that's what
not denial, not avoidance, but detachment, which you achieve by not being attached to the outcome. You got to be attached moment by moment by moment, knowing that everything is as it needs to be. And I don't know what anything is for. Ooh, I met my intention. The intention for this show, which was to bring to her awareness the depth of pain, of information, of where she was in her life. That was my intention. Now, it could have looked very different than me being called a variety of names and having my life threatened, but that wasn't personal. We met the intention. She is now aware. That intention was met. And once you become aware, you become responsible.
Exactly. Amen. All right, that's the O Network. That's Yaya speaking to her crew. And someone in the comment section says, love never backs down in the face of fear. I like that quote. Powerful. Indeed. She did her job. And as this young lady said, she feels bad if the person didn't get anything out of it. Came broken, left broken. Yaya didn't get to reach her. But that's okay, because as they said, as she said, Yaya says, I did my part. That's it. And yes, you have to detach yourself, because you can't reach everyone. I played you that information so you can get a glimpse of what the young lady was going through at the time of finding out she was adopted, and this woman, Yaya, trying to reach out to her to help her navigate through her pain, and finding out she's adopted, so on and so forth, but she was not receptive to getting help. And that happens sometimes. Thank you so much for joining me. This is Crime Vault. I'm going to go on to the next video now. Excuse me. All righty. Because there are it's a lot to play pertaining to this situation. So I brought you information from the OWN Network. We're going to go to First Coast News, where the father is going to explain why the daughter blew up on Miss Van Zant's show. This is uploaded 2 years ago. Thank you for joining me. I believe she has a better relationship with the father for some reason. Perhaps she didn't have a role model, a father figure when she was living with Gloria. So that's why she navigated towards her biological father when she met him. Thank you.
Laughs and joking and stuff. And then I saw her
her on Ayana Van Zant's show, and I was like, who is that? What happened? What happened?
Now that's the one thing I want people to understand. That was a show, right? It went like this to us. We sitting on the couch. Indiana, she comes in. Oh, everything calm. Y'all look good. Everything great. Action. Y'all need to do this here. Y'all need to do this right here. Y'all need to do this right here. Cut. All right, y'all looking good. Freshen up, y'all. You want anything to eat? Action. Don't go this. We gonna do this right here. She made it drama than what it was. She kept pushing my daughter. Everybody think it's Kamaya, but I'm gonna tell you something. You can't do none of my kids like what this lady was doing. She was trying to push her with a reaction for the cameras. She tried to stay calm. I tried to stay calm. This lady was doing this for hours. She wanted to wrap her up in a blanket and rebirth her. What is that? Some type of I can't do that with her. She wanted me to leave her at that mansion with people we don't know. I just found my daughter, and you want me to leave her again? What kind of help is this? So my daughter ran down like, Daddy, she trying to get y'all to leave. I don't want y'all to leave. I ain't going nowhere, Dad. I'm ready to go. So then, she just kept running up on my daughter, talking stuff, and she just keeping the camera. See, they cut out a lot of stuff she was saying to my daughter, for the drama type of thing. But at the end of the day, I want to tell her this. Indiana's an adult, The things that she pulled on my daughter, and me and her, we was there. She know. She can show all the clips she want. She can keep showing it on YouTube. We was there. She knows she should have never tried no child like that. She know what she did. And to try to have a cleanup show after that to make it seem like what she did was right was dead wrong. You know what I'm saying? But we have learned from that. We learned that our best help is ourselves.
Well, you're entitled to interpretation. We do know that they edit things for TV show, but I still believe the way she talked to Yaya, the cursing and calling her nasty names, that came from somewhere else, somewhere deep down where there's a lot of anger. Because if you felt like that during the editing, that you felt like that the show was going in a different direction, it was being dramatized for show ratings, which Yaya says her show isn't about that. But anyway, because we're not there behind the scenes, you should have kindly just got up and said, well, we don't like the cut, the takes, jump back on, you're in her face, she's getting offended, so we're going to kindly remove ourselves. So you're the adult, then you shouldn't have had any problem speaking up on behalf of your daughter, who became irrational. You should, as an adult, say, well, Yaya, thank you for your time, but this isn't working out. You making the takes and cutting and then going in on her when the camera resumes back. That's all you had to say. All that stuff that was going on with the name calling and calling the woman nasty names and I'll slap a B and all that, that was way over the top. Because each of you could have removed yourself. And when the daughter was told to do one-on-one consultation, Yaya didn't want anybody else around, because that's usually what she does, is talk to people by themselves without other participants. I don't know about this leaving the house business, but anyway, I would assume all that was told to you before you came on the show, how they were going to navigate, how they navigate the show. You could have declined to even show up. And I do find it interesting, the bio mother didn't show up, but I think at that time, she and her daughter were not in a good space, so she didn't want to participate, which was her choice. Now we're going to go on to more commentary pertaining to this very baffling story. Words from the mother, the kidnapper. This is uploaded 4 years ago, First Coast News. It's about 20 minutes. She's on the witness stand telling why and how she came to kidnap this child.
What was on my mind, my head back then, I was a different person. My head was in a different place. I was just broken. I had a broken heart. I had a broken spirit. I didn't feel good about myself. I didn't feel good about anything. You know, I was just felt like a robot. I knew I had to go to work. I knew I had to eat. So I had to keep working. You know, I was by myself. I was a single parent with nobody else bringing in any money. So I had to keep doing what I had to do.
Did you ultimately enter a hospital?
Yes, I did.
What was your intention when you entered the hospital?
I don't know. It just wasn't, my intent was not to take a baby. It wasn't. I just sat there. I sat there fighting with myself, I guess. And that's how I felt, fighting with myself. I did go to the floor and looked at the babies at the ward. And just looked at them and just thought about the baby I lost.
And did you ultimately enter Shannara Mobley's room?
Yes.
Why is that?
I don't know. I didn't know Shannara. I didn't know anybody. And I didn't know what she had or anything. And I didn't know who room I didn't even know who room I was entering in. I knew it was a woman, but I didn't know whose.
Did you speak to Miss Mobley at that time?
Yes, I did.
Was the baby in the room when you first entered?
No.
How long were you in Miss Mobley's room?
Her and I, we talked. She wanted to get cleaned up, and I guess the nurse was taking too long, so I went down the hall and got her a gown, a fresh gown, and I came back and kind of helped her. And we talked. She talked about the family, about her family, and that's it.
Let me interject right here. This is the most preposterous thing I've ever heard. You took a chance going in a hospital with security cameras. How did you even know where to go get the gowns? Because we do see you walking around with a gown on in the hospital on the security camera. So how did you know where to go get the gown? It's very strange to me. You walked into somebody's room, didn't even know who was in the room. Room could have been filled with people. So you took a chance, going in a hospital, looking and lurking around the nursery ward. Going in some stranger's room, didn't know who was in there, somebody was in the bathroom, anything. Baby just so happened to be in the room with the mother. Very strange story. Everything favored Gloria Williams on that fateful morning to kidnap this baby. Nobody's asking her questions. Nobody's asking her where her name tag is. How about that? No credentials on. You work in a hospital, you're supposed to have credentials. I don't care if you're the janitor. You would have credentials on. No credentials, lurking around. Go into a room, don't know who's in there. Pick up the baby, now you're holding a conversation. The girl is waiting for another nurse to clean her up. That's when you go get her a gown. All this is winded. So how long did this go on? You have to ask those questions. Nobody noticed this strange person lurking around a nursery ward, going in a room, talking to somebody, going out of the room, get a gown, coming back, talking to the woman, holding a baby. All this went on for how long? And what about that nurse today? Where is she, the one that's supposed to be in the room attending to Miss Mobley? How do you feel now knowing you not being back in that room is how this baby got going? She didn't take it. She didn't take the baby from incubator or where they keep the babies. She took it from the mother's room. So what if the nurse had walked in, Miss Gloria? What would you have said? Because I'm sure she would have asked you, well, who are you? Oh, I would have been stuttering. You would have probably got arrested right on the spot because they would have put two and two together. Something's not right. Who is this lady? So you would have to do what? Run out of the room, try to get out the hospital to your car. See, this is a very wicked story. And this is the thing I've never could understand about true crime. How is it these people can get in and out of places to kidnap people undetected, kidnap babies, steal children from the lawn, the bus stop, carry people in their cars, trucks, never pulled over with a body, alive or dead, in their car. Poof, disappeared in the night or the day. Nobody knows anything. You all have to admit, it's very strange. Disposing of bodies. Nobody saw nothing, heard nothing. Never pulled over once by law enforcement. Toting a damn dead body in a car, truck, hatch, tub, container. Nobody ever saw the person get kidnapped, removed from the place they were. This is a prime example of buffoonery. Because you have to ask yourselves, how long was it that she roamed the hospital hallways? How long before she walked into the room? How long did she stay in the room back and forth, fooling with gowns and stuff, to the point where she walked out of the room and into the day with a whole baby? This is baffling to me. Thank you for joining me. This is Crime Pro.
That's it.
Was anyone else in the room with her at that time?
No.
Did they ultimately bring a baby girl in?
Yes, they did.
What was going through your mind during that time?
See, this makes no sense. Now she says they brought the baby in the room. I thought the baby was already in the room. This is weird.
I don't know. I was thinking about, maybe this baby can help Charles. That's what I was thinking. And after me and Miss Mobley was talking, it was like she was so young and she was just wasn't real sure about what she was going to do. And just my mindset at that time wasn't logical. It definitely wasn't logical, but from what I was thinking at that time, it seemed right. It seemed right.
And did you ultimately take that baby girl out of the hospital?
Yes, I did.
Where did you take her?
To South Carolina.
Did you change her name?
Yes, I did.
What did you change it to?
Alexis Kelly.
Did you ever change her birth date?
No.
What was it like to raise her?
Alexis was a doll baby. She was a joy.
She was a doll baby, not caring about the mother and father whose baby you stole. Interesting.
What did it mean to you to bring a baby girl home?
Well, I don't know, my mind was gone. It really was. I just thought, this would bring peace to the house. The abuse would stop, the violence would stop. And it didn't.
Did you ultimately leave Mr. Manigault?
Yeah, I did. After I lost the boys, and it was just me and Alexis and him, and he was so happy that we were a family. I was like, we're not a family because I got two people missing. And like I said, I thought it would bring peace to the family. It didn't, and I just thought to myself, I can't have him around her. I can't do it.
So why kidnap a child and you're living in an abusive relationship? I'm assuming that the boys that she got taken were not his. Because for her to tell him, how can it be peaceful if my boys are gone and it's just me, you here, and the baby? See, none of this makes any sense. You knew your situation with this man when you got pregnant. Then you had a miscarriage. Then you traveled to Florida, stole a child, brought the child back. Your children got taken from you for whatever reason. by the father, which I found strange because most women end up having custody of their children. So then you have to ask yourself that question. How did you lose custody of your boys? And how did you think bringing a baby into an abusive house was going to be better? And children can hear things whether they can speak or talk. So you brought a baby back in a house where people are arguing and fussing and putting their hands on each other. It's possibly why the little girl has such a nasty attitude. Because she was hearing all this, even as an infant. Can't talk, can't speak, can't sit up, can't eat. Stay woke now. Because children hearing things in the womb. When you're talking on the phone, you're fussing, you're cussing, you're crying. You think your child can't feel that in the womb? So now here you have a baby, can't walk, talk, jump around, but the baby can hear. The baby can hear the elements in the room, in the environment. This is a very dizzy woman here.
Do it. And she deserves better. And that's when I had enough courage to leave the relationship then. But like I said, by this time I had lost everything.
And when you brought Kamaya Mobley back to South Carolina, did you raise her as your own?
Yes, I did.
How did you raise her?
I'm not sure about that question. Can you?
Did you get her medical treatment?
Yes, I did.
Did she have regular dental checkups?
Yes, she did.
Was she in dances and recitals?
Yes, she did dance for a while. Mm-hmm.
Was she also a cheerleader?
Yeah, she was a cheerleader.
What was expected of Alexis growing up?
To be a respectful person, respect your elders, to treat people in a kind manner. She had rules to live by. She wasn't, she was the princess, but she still had rules.
Was she required to go to school?
Ma'am?
Was she required to go to school?
Of course, yes.
Did she have duties around the house?
Yes, she did. Well, when all of her and the boys were there, they had chores of washing the dishes, cleaning their rooms, keeping their rooms clean, making sure homework was done.
Was she also involved in the community?
Yes, she was.
What's the Mary B. Thomas Girls?
The Mary B. Thomas Girls is an affiliate of the Order of Eastern Stars, where we teach young women, young girls, how to be young women and how to be independent and to, move on to do things in the community.
This attorney is laying it on thick to try to portray Gloria as a decent person, but she's not decent because she kidnapped and told a whole baby. Doesn't matter that she didn't get in trouble with the law. She had this daughter involved in the community with the Eastern Star. That means nothing. My great-grandmother's the Eastern Star. What's your point? You still stole a kid. So how can you implement structure to a stolen child? Be respectful, be kind, respect your elders, blah, blah, blah. All of that doesn't mean anything. Because you've also taught her, little did she know, that you can walk into a hospital and steal a baby and walk out of the hospital, take the baby to another state and raise the child as your own and defraud everybody of the truth. You didn't go legally adopt a baby, raise a baby as your own. You stole a baby from a child herself, 16-year-old mother and father. And yet you sit here, the lawyer trying to lay it on thick like you're a decent human being, but the elephant in the room is that you stole this baby. This is despicable here. Because she's sitting here talking all mild-mannered. She's sorry, she feels bad for what she did, but yet she's the same person told the judge, No, I believe I only need 9 years in prison, sir. Ma'am. Yeah, I stole that baby, but I was a good mother. But now we look at commentary years ago from the Yaya show where she's talking nasty, cussing the woman out. The daddy defended her by trying to say it was all about editing and this and that. We've heard that a lot of times from reality stars. Still a bunch of bull. You stole that kid, lady. And here in court, you're downplaying your role.
Was she also involved in the church?
Yeah, she was an acolyte in the church.
And what's it?
I'm sorry, she was an acolyte also and a junior usher.
What is the National Young Scholars?
National Young Scholars is a program through the school at the time, and it's academic achievements. And Alexis at the time was A honor roll as far as science and math or mathematics, and she got an invitation to come there and to participate in their pre-med program there, which was at Wake Forest University in Wake Forest, North Carolina. And that program was so awesome. It just kind of blew my mind. And the children there, she must have been about 9 or 10. And the organization was just awesome. I never met so many kids that were so focused on what they wanted to be. I think her roommate at the time was a little girl from Tennessee named Katie. And Katie was just a little sweet little country belle. And she said, I want to be a neurosurgeon. And I was like, a neurosurgeon? So, Alexis told me, I want to be a pediatrician. I was like, wow, I just don't remember at that age. Already in my life plan. So I was happy that she was able to participate with that. I encouraged her to do it because I think ever since she was 4 years old, she'd been wanting to be a doctor.
The healthcare industry is furious now that anyone can get free healthcare by getting an HSA card.
The White House's newest amendment is giving Americans free health benefits with an HSA card. Anyone who
She'd been wanting to be a doctor.
And was she enrolled in preschool?
Yes, she was.
At what age?
3.
And did she attend kindergarten?
Yes,
And did she ultimately graduate at 17 years old from high school?
she did.
And did she plan to go to college?
Yes, she did.
What were those plans?
She wanted to be a paralegal, and she went to a couple of school tours, college tours. Her and I went to the University of South Carolina in Columbia, and just kind of give her an idea of how or what it meant to be like on campus and stuff. So she got to experience that.
So you did do a college campus tour?
Yes.
Was she a healthy child?
Yes, she was.
A happy child?
She was. She was very happy.
Was she a respectful child?
Yes, she was.
How was the relationship between the two of you?
Well, you saw her, you see me, and it was just so funny. I guess there was a difference between her and the boys at school. Everybody, that's Lexi mom. I wasn't Miss Bolden anymore. I was Lexi mom. So that's what they remember because it was always her. They remembered her first.
And was she also close with your two boys, Andre and Antoine?
Oh yeah, they spoiled her.
Is she close with your parents?
Very close. But she because I called my daddy daddy, she just picked up on it and started calling him daddy. I was like, no, that's granddaddy. She knew who it was, but she just said daddy because that was the nickname.
And Mrs. Williams, outside of raising Alexis and your two other children, tell us about your life in South Carolina. Who were you married to?
I was married to Renoski Williams. I'm still married to Renoski Williams.
Tell us about Mr. Williams.
He's a God-fearing man. I thank God for him. He is, I didn't know that it could be this way.
What way?
To love someone, to experience that, it was easy. It was easier for him. He was just a good person. He's just a good person. I just love him so. He's been so supportive. I just thought after this came out that he'd be gone,
And in fact, has he come up pretty much every Saturday for the last 16 months?
Yes, he has. He's my friend. He's my lover, my husband. And I couldn't ask for a better person to be around me, my children. And he's a hardworking man. I respect him and I just adore him.
And now Andre and Antoine are grown men and have been out of the house some time, but tell us about your relationship with them as adults.
Oh, those my boys. Andre, my oldest, oh gosh. They just grown up to be amazing men. And he's such a quiet person and laid back, and he's just like a tender giant. That's what I see in him. We talk all the time and always had a good relationship. We talk about life and with my kids, we always had that open door policy. They can come to me about anything and we can talk about anything. And sometimes the talks used to get real crazy, and I'm thinking to myself, oh my gosh, don't you have any friends you can tell this to? But I was grateful that they felt comfortable enough to come to me and talk to me about these things. And I didn't judge them. I didn't say, boy, did you do that? Or, I didn't do that with them because I wanted to I wanted to give them the truth as I knew it. I didn't want them to learn it out in the streets or hear it differently somewhere else. So I gave them the truth as I knew it.
And do you now have grandchildren?
Oh, yes. I got those sweet little people. Oh, man. I miss them. I do.
How many
miss them.
grandchildren?
I have 4.
And who are they?
My oldest and my only girl is Gloria, and she's 9. Now when I say grandchildren, I say 4, and when I say kids, I say 5, because I can't forget my stepchildren. And so I'm talking about when I say 4, my 2 and my other 2, Erica's children as well. So LaDravia is 9, and she's the princess as well, and she's the oldest. Akai, he's 8, and then we have Jonah and Aiden, who are both 3.
And did you get to spend a lot of time with them prior to your incarceration?
Yes, every summer, and then Aiden and Akai lived in Waldoboro, so I got to see them all the time.
interesting information there. When you watch this commentary, she's lost a lot of hair. Hair fell out. She was in bald at the top of her head. She obviously had a lot of hair at one time. But that's usually what happens with people when they become incarcerated. They worry themselves because they know they're not coming out of there. So the hair starts to fall out. It either grays, it thins, or it falls all the way out. She's bald at the top. For those who want to see the information, post it to my community board. So this is a very wicked story. I'm playing you this so you can get a glimpse into who Gloria has portrayed herself as and who the attorneys are trying to portray her as a good human being in the church, this and that. Little girl was smart in school. She took up with other family members, grandchildren, stepchildren, married. The husband's an older gentleman. But in the end, that has nothing to do with the fact that she walked into a hospital in another state and stole a child. Mild-mannered or not, she still stole a kid. That's how I look at it. Thank you for joining me. If you'd like to donate to the channel, $ Big Angie, 129 Cash App. All stickers and chats are welcome. Thank you so much.
And Your Honor, may I approach the witness?
You certainly may.
Ms. Landon, approach you. Defense Exhibit 6. Can you take a look at those and tell me what those are?
My baby shower, that first picture. Excuse me.
That's a picture of what?
My baby shower, that was me. It was huge.
What does the next photo depict?
Ma'am?
What does the next photo depict?
This is my living room.
What is depicted in your living room?
Photos of my family and my Bible and my trophies and, well, not my trophies, but my husband's trophies. And some of my certificates, award certificates.
And what about the next photo?
The next photo is, again, family pictures and more certificates on this side and Alexis diploma.
And the next photo?
This is our little children's area. The kids' toy basket and their chair for them to sit and watch TV with.
Was that for the grandchildren?
Yes, it was.
And the next photo?
Alexis' room.
And what about the next photo?
Alexis' room, her closet, a rocking chair.
And the following photo?
A family photo.
Who's depicted in it?
Alexis and the two boys and myself.
And the following photo?
Alexis at 2.
And the next one?
Alexis at 4.
And the following one?
Alexis at 3.
And the following?
This is when she was child of the day, and she was 2.
Where was your child today?
At the daycare.
The following photo?
All right, that's the end of that video. First Coast News is the source. This lawyer's trying to portray her as a human being, a decent human that raised this child in a loving home with extended family. The child was a smart kid in school, graduated, blah, blah, blah. But none of that means anything because in the end, Gloria Williams stole a child out of a hospital belonging to a 16-year-old mother. That's the sad information. Thank you all so much for joining me. This is a very winded live. I want to bring you all the information I can pertaining to the storyline to show you how this story came to be. What is a relationship? Before I play this one video pertaining to the relationship, of Kamaya now with her mother, because I know it's been very strenuous, that relationship. I'm going to play information pertaining to the storyline. How all this came to be. The mother's reaction to her daughter, the bio mother. This is just a baffling story to me. Some of it may be disturbing to some of you. Some of you may think the bio mother has a bad attitude about her relationship. My understanding is that they're in a better place, and I'll play that commentary last. But this is commentary from a few years ago. I'm gonna play this for you all. One moment. Thank you all.
The craziest things. They was like, it's no loophole. Yeah, they told me it was no loophole, no nothing, like all kind of things. They told me I had to go to the hospital, get a document that probably was destroyed, and I think it was destroyed every decade. They destroy things. So it was like, if it's not there, it's about to get destroyed. That's probably the craziest thing.
When they told you that, did your heart sink? What were you feeling?
I was like, I just kept saying, ain't no way, something got to give.
Right, because you want to move on with your life. Yeah. Where do you see yourself in about 5 years?
Hopefully working at some nice law firm. I want to be a family.
All right. So you have your Social Security card right now. You're good to go. So what's the next step?
A job. Definitely a job.
Put it out there. I mean, you can solicit for what you want. Let's talk about it.
I'm just looking for something like, I think I'm gonna do something behind the counter, probably a cashier somewhere, something like that, probably. I like something, mostly I really like paperwork, so probably a little secretary job, something like that, probably falling,
yeah, aim high, as high as you want to. You know the sky's the limit, right?
I know that's just something for now, because I am about to go to college. I don't mean that's gonna take up all my time. It's something.
Right. Yeah. So where are you going to school? You know it's yet, or you still working out?
No, but I would, give a chance to Florida State. I would, I would actually try Florida State.
So you're gonna stay here?
Probably. Right now I'm still back in Florida, but I'm going to end up staying down here.
Tell me about what it's like to step into a family like you did, because it seems like you just meshed so quickly. Were you nervous about meshing with this family? What was that like?
I don't know. I was nervous at first. I was like, what if they don't like me? Maybe like, but all it is love. Like, all we got is love, literally. Really, I fit right in, because actually all of us are there all in the same age limit. So it was like, I think the most years we got between us is 4. And that's my oldest sister to my second oldest, which is 4 years. So it's like 24 and 20, down right there at 19. So yeah, we fit, we're already there.
With you being the newbie, do you get picked on, teased? How's that work?
No, we actually do it to each other, literally. Literally.
I heard your dad picking on you. He said you're greedy.
Because I be eating up all his snacks.
You are funny. Tell me about what today has been like for you, because it's been a year now and there's a lot of celebration going on.
Actually, I didn't really feel no different. It felt like a regular day. We actually woke up ready to party, though. Definitely.
That's what you're ready for. Kamaya, there's so many people. I know your story is unique, but one of the reasons I wanted to talk to you is because you are so young, going through so much. You still got that big smile on your face. What is it that keeps you going?
I just think things are going to get better. I always believe that. I just think there's always a rainbow on the side.
That's the right
It don't make no sense to cry.
That's right. Or don't cry for too long, right?
Yeah, that too.
Because sometimes you got to cry. You got to let it out.
Yeah.
So tell me about having 3 moms. Who can say that? You have so much love.
I actually make jokes about that. Like, everybody be like, how's your mom doing? I be like, which one? And they love it.
So tell me the names. Who do you call what?
Well, you got Miss Shannon, that's mom. You got my birth mother, that's mom. Then you got Gloria, that's mom. Like, it's like 3 of them.
And you call everyone mom, or?
Yeah, it's like mom, mother. Everybody. They all was mom. Everybody was mom. So I'm gonna keep doing it.
She's a comedian. Okay, so you only have one dad, obviously, and he is your twin. Did it trip you out when you first saw him face to face? You were like,
I did. Like, I had to turn. I had to look over my back. I thought somebody seen him. He looked just like me. We looked just alike.
Y'all act alike too?
I think so.
Now, let's talk about Mom, Miss Gloria. When's the last time you see her? What's that like when you get to see her?
I get excited when I see her. The last time I saw her was at preliminary trial. Okay, preliminary trial. I haven't seen her yet because I actually just got my ID. Literally, I just got my ID. So I'll probably see her soon, right my next visit maybe. Or, yeah. I talk to her almost like every 2 days. So.
Oh, on the phone?
Yeah.
Okay. And she's staying strong? Yeah. What's she saying to encourage you?
She doesn't like. She's still. Oh God, she's still a mother behind bars. She's still like she stays on me hard. Like, hey, what you doing? You got this yet? What you doing? What college you going to? Like, I get what college are you going to? Like, probably every time we talk.
Oh, and what do you say to encourage her?
I just like sometimes I have to catch myself. I'm like, what you doing? Like, she don't sound like she in jail. Like I don't know. I'm like, what you doing? Like, I be able to catch myself. I just ask her like, how you doing? You holding up? She's always been a God-fearing person. So she's like, strength in God.
Do you think she's putting on a facade to try to be strong for you?
Sometimes.
Okay.
Sometimes I do think that.
All right. You mentioned her being God-fearing, so you grew up in the church too. And you feel that's helping you? If so, let's talk about that. How's that helping you?
I do think it's helping me a lot. Because that's what I turn to a lot of times. Like, I need somebody. Seriously.
Yeah. I mean, tell me about it. You turn to the Lord.
I still listen to gospel. I still go to church. I actually did fall off. I'm not gonna lie. I did fall off. Because, without that extra, getting up, waking me up in the morning, on Sundays, I did fall off. I will admit that. But actually going back, I've actually gotten better with life, with patience. And, I actually learned how to encourage my own self instead of looking for other people.
And is that the words of wisdom you put out there to young girls right now, helping them to?
Yeah, everybody I come in contact with, I do tell them that, literally. Because everybody always asks me how you handling stuff. Because everybody always asks me that, like, to be honest, I dealt with it probably better than what people think. Literally.
Of course. Because as adults, we couldn't imagine having to go through that. Like I said, you're still smiling. You seem so strong.
She was numb.
That surrounds you too, that helps.
Kamaya was very numb.
Yeah, definitely. I got love for like 2 families.
That's how she was dealing with it. Numb.
So I was concerned about this myself. I'm about to say 3, but I was going to leave you alone. I was concerned about this myself. Should I call you Alexis? Should I
cut that off. It fell off. I'm going to read you the commentary. It's pre-recorded pertaining to this. First Coast News is the source, everybody.
It stopped. Let's see. We're going to go back up a little bit. I want to read the information pertaining to this. First Coast ABC News is the source. Thank you for joining me. This was uploaded a while ago, 2019, July 29th. Gloria Williams' appeal is denied. Prison sentence for kidnapping baby Kamaya Mobley upheld. Williams said her 18-year sentence was cruel and unusual punishment, acclaimed the court unanimously rejected Monday. Sorry about that. The Pellets never once intended harm towards the child. In fact, brought her up to the best of the Pellets' abilities, and then some, Williams wrote. Even the victim, kidnapped, spoke out in the Pellets' favor and did not wish imprisonment, which would take away the only mother she has ever known. In fact, Kamaya declined to testify on Williams' behalf. In lieu of testimony, Williams' attorney entered into evidence a handful of interviews the team has given reporters, including her interview with First Coast News. Of course, I'm not going to say throw her in jail and throw away the key or throw her underneath the jail, she told First Coast News at the time. Of course, I don't want to see so many years, but I understand the crime was done, so I understand some punishment has to be rendered. Williams avoided the possibility of a life sentence if her case had gone before a jury by accepting a plea deal of between 0 to 22 years. Circuit Judge Marianne Aho chose a prison term 4 years less than the maximum, but 18 years more than the minimum. Sentenced at 52, Williams could be released at the age of 68 or earlier. Jacksonville defense attorney Rhonda Peoples-Waters told First Coast news, convicts typically serve around 85% of their sentences. Based on that, one said she estimated 13 years less than served 2017 arrest. And this interview is of the daughter talking that you heard in this commentary. I'm going to finish what she was saying pertaining to the crime. Williams was sentenced in June 2018 for kidnapping Kamaya Mobley from University Medical Center, now UF Health Jacksonville, just 8 hours after she was born. The case drew national attention and ultimately forced changes in hospital procedures around the country. Gloria Williams raised the baby as her own under the name Alexis Namigo. Her secret wasn't discovered until January 2017 when Williams was arrested at her home in Walterboro, South Carolina. In her self-field or pro se appeal, Williams said 18-year sentence was disproportionate to her crime. Williams argued when she committed the crime, she had just suffered a devastating miscarriage and was exhibiting symptoms conducive to postpartum depression, as well as experiencing extreme mental and emotional disturbance. At the time she took the child, she was not in her right state of mind. She added that she was truly remorseful for the crime. And as I had told you before, the daughter spoke up on behalf of the mother in court, basically saying she did not want the mother to get a long sentence. Very sick, crazy information. I'm going to play information from the biological mother.
I still lost. It's no winning situation. I don't have a relationship with my child. Right now, speaking as a woman, so I still lost. So what did I gain? Nothing. And honestly, I wish sometimes she would have never came back. And I do wish, because it takes a toll, because I'm a mother first. And it takes a toll on my other children. My daughter is going to the 10th grade where she has to argue with people to defend her mother. She's on Facebook defending my other babies, they are babies. They should have to go out there in that world and experience that stuff. That shouldn't have to be their life. And this is what Gloria and Kamaya brought upon my children. And I truly, really feel deep in my heart, I just wish she would have never came back. I really do. Because you came back. This woman made a mockery of my life when she took my baby. And not only did you make a mockery when you brought my baby back, but you make a mockery of my life. And this judge allowed this lady to keep reaching out to my child every day. So she's still committing the crime. And you had the right to stop that, and you did not. So no, I don't have no respect for that judge. I don't. And no, I'm not celebrating Kamaya's 20th birthday. This is the second Mother's Day. I didn't get a text. I didn't get a call. I didn't get a card. Nothing. So no, I'm not celebrating her 20th birthday. But what I am waiting on is September the 25th when my baby turned 9. What I am waiting on is when trying to get ready for her sweet 16th birthday. That's what I am waiting on, because them kids up there love me. They love me, and nobody can take that from me.
That was the biological mother speaking at that time, but I will bring you information basically to tell you that they've rekindled their relationship. It'll be a year. The content I'm going to bring you will be pertaining to a year ago, but this content was uploaded July 29, 2019, and as most of you know, it is now June 22. So this was 3 years ago, almost 3 years ago. And from my understanding, they are all rekindled the relationship, the bio parents, with Kamaya, content from a year ago. So I'm hoping that they are still working towards bonding, because this is a hard situation for everyone involved, but it's a really crazy situation. That'd be my commentary pertaining to First Coast ABC News if you need verification. Thank you.
All right, everybody. I pre-recorded that earlier. I'm going to go back now and play you my last bit of commentary. She got an 18-year sentence, tried to appeal it for 9 years, but it was denied. Ms. Mobley received a $1.5 million judgment from the hospital where the baby was kidnapped, rightfully so. She has other children. She's tried to work on a relationship with her daughter, but naturally she felt some type of way about Miss Gloria still reaching out, having contact with the daughter, and vice versa, because the daughter would not let go of Gloria. She still considered this woman her mother. And as you heard in commentary I played this afternoon, she has 3 mothers. Biological mother, Miss Gloria, who kidnapped her, and the woman who's currently married to her biological father. She considers that woman, her stepmother, also her mother. I pray that they're all getting along. I pray that they can come to some type of conclusion with the relationship, because this has to be hard on everybody involved. As far as Gloria, I don't really care what Gloria feels, because what she did was wrong. And I find it very interesting at the beginning of my live that you heard relatives and neighbors or whomever saying she was a nice lady. They don't feel any ill will towards her. How could you not? She took a child. See, this is what I'm talking about. People who enable the wrongdoers, such as the information I brought you pertaining to Chris Watts. Family still supporting him, talking in circles in the jail. Oh, I don't care what you did, his mother says. Sister talking to him. Oh, you look nice. Your hair looks nice. Father saying the same thing. They act like they were visiting him, like he was in a day spa or something. He's locked up, not coming out. And you're aiding the foolishness of a killer who killed your own nieces, grandchildren. That ain't no big deal. This situation, all the way in South Carolina. Oh, she's a nice lady. We had no problem out of her. She didn't commit any crimes. Blah, blah, blah. Kid was nice. She stole a child. So all that stuff about what she's doing in the community, she was a nice lady, mild-mannered. She wasn't a criminal. Who cares? Somebody lost their kid. And maybe some people feel like it was no big deal because it was a child that had a child, but it doesn't matter. That was her child. She was going to raise the child to our knowledge. So nobody had the right to go in that hospital and take that baby out of that damn room. And as you see, the woman has gone on to have more children of her own. She says her children love her, as you heard in this commentary I just played by First Coast News. And it took a toll on her and her children. This girl coming into her life, she's trying to bond with her, and the child still wants an attachment to the kidnapper. And it's not to throw shade, but if you haven't had a child kidnapped, you would not understand how this woman felt. You can't logically explain to her why it's okay for you to want to bond with a kidnapper, which we know, okay, you thought that was your mother. We get that. But you're not in this woman's shoes, your own mother, who wants to bond with you and wants you to not have any contact with this lady. And you can read commentary where some people disagree and say the biological mother was selfish for asking her to give her an ultimatum after soon meeting her. You're entitled to your interpretation of that information. But you have to admit it would be hard to bond with your child and they're still in contact with the kidnapper. How's that going to work? Because you know she's going to talk about the kidnapper. Oh, mommy called. Oh, I'm going to see mommy. Oh, I'm going to do a prison visit. You think your biological mother wants to hear that, or the biological father? And even the biological father even said the same thing. I've never known a kidnapper to be a good person. That is so true. 1 year ago, this is Kamaya's commentary pertaining to her biological mother. First Coast News is the source. Thank you for joining me.
Now, for those of you wondering about the relationship between Kamaya Mobley and her biological mother, Shanara Mobley, we have a pretty pleasant update for you this morning. So you may remember Kamaya was stolen from a Jacksonville hospital at just 8 hours old and found 18 years later living with her kidnapper, Gloria Williams, who is now serving an 18-year prison sentence. Well, Kamaya's continued relationship with Williams put a strain on her relationship with her biological mother, Shanara. Kamaya recently posted this photo of her mother on her Facebook page with a caption that reads, "We bump heads so much because we're so much alike, but she's perfect to me." And Kamaya's father, Craig Aiken, reposted this to his social media, saying that he loves them both and they're continuing to work on their relationship. Kamaya also posted this photo with a caption reading, "My parents," to her Facebook page. So it's nice to see them actually working on their relationship. And obviously there is a big interest in this story, not just locally, but nationwide. And a lot of folks on social media are just happy to see their relationship blossom, that the bond between them really growing.
It was 18 years lost.
Yeah.
And so it's not going to happen overnight, I'm sure. But the work, being done as per social media is a wonderful thing.
First Coast News is the source. I'm almost 2 hours in. I'm not going to hold you all any longer. Any other content pertaining to this story will be posted to my community board. There's also a full interview with First Coast News of the father, talking about the baby being kidnapped and about her double life. And there's also content pertaining to the mother who spoke to Gloria in court and told her, this child doesn't belong to you. She's our baby. It's very, very sad information. And I don't want to recap over that since it's, so negative. I pray that they all can bond. I pray that Kamaya can bond with her biological mother. Because as I said, this was a very trying time for all three. The child trying to get to know biological parents and family members. The biological mother holding on. Animosity towards this machine that stole her child, and also the father. I think he played more of a neutral role, the bio dad, with the daughter. I think he enabled her a lot. And from what we've seen with the interview with Yaya, you can see that the daughter had a lot of anger in her. And I don't think it was all from the production of the show and the editing and the cutting of the show. I think the little girl had anger issues before ever finding out she was adopted. And that's my personal opinion, because you just don't jump out like that and start fussing and cussing. I do know that trauma can change your attitude and disposition at any age, but I think Gloria spoiled her. I think Gloria didn't reprimand her. I think she treated her as the baby girl. She let her get away with things. I don't think she held her accountable. And I believe that's part of her disposition, why it was so easy for her to go off on Iyanla Vanzant during the interview. I mean, because they're going to take takes and cuts in filming anything. TV show, interview. And everybody knows Yaya gives people assignments. That is what it is, a part of the show, the program. And at any point where you felt violated or disrespected, Kamaya, you or your father, all you have to do is just say, well, I'd like to participate in the taping of this show. All that name calling and calling that woman out of her name and dirty names and threatening her was very vile behavior. And I think it shows that something else was going on with this little girl besides the editing of the show. The editing of the show. And Iyanla's alleged coming at her during the takes. Just seems a bit extreme. And I don't think I've heard of anyone acting and behaving to this magnitude towards Yaya. Now, some of the guests have gone off on the other people who they've had issues with, the reason why they were on the show, such as, a mother and daughter fighting, or son and daughter, dad, that type of dynamic. Those people were angry with each other because they're the ones with the problems with each other, but not just going at the hostess of the show. It's very strange. It just shows me that something's going on with this kid. You're entitled to believe what you want. Some of you may think that what Gloria did was appropriate, which we know by law and moral and ethically what she did was wrong by kidnapping that child. I believe she knew exactly what she was doing when she went in that hospital. I just believe she intentionally went to get a baby. She did not want people to know she had lost her child. And as I said, I don't know the timeline between the miscarriage to her actually kidnapping the baby, but I believe she stole that baby because she didn't want people to know that she had lost her child. She was trying to keep that man that she was dating, this abusive man, and she realized at some point, once getting that baby back to South Carolina, that baby was not going to salvage her abusive relationship with a bum. So you were subjecting your own children with an abusive man, and then you had the nerve to go steal a baby and take that baby back to an abusive household. How does that make any logical sense? But when people are immersed in relationships love, lust, whatever, obsession. They don't think clearly, obviously. But kidnapping a child is unacceptable. And I can't fathom what that woman went through, that young girl, when her baby was taken from her out of that room, and realized that this woman duped me. She sat in here, talked to me, played coy, and stole my child. In the hospital, they had to stand account, atonement as well. All nurses on deck had to stand atonement for not watching this woman's room. And anybody aiding Gloria in that town, you're crazy and sick. Because that wasn't your baby that was stolen out of a hospital room. Women deliver babies every day. Imagine somebody coming in the room pretending to be a doctor, a nurse, or janitor, aide, whatever, and just walk out with your damn baby. And then you later find out your child is alive. And then you try to reconnect with that child, and you can't because that child's still holding down the kidnapper. That would be very difficult. So nobody can tell the biological mother how to feel in this instance. I pray for them, that they all will be able to have a healthy relationship, the bio mother and the daughter, Kamaya. I pray that they will stay in tune with each other. Because as some people said in the comment section, Kamaya won't really understand the loyalty of being a parent and the bond of a mother and a child until she actually has a child of her own. And maybe then she will understand what her biological mother felt, feels, and why she has the strong feelings of not wanting her to continue to bond with the kidnapper. And maybe that's what it will take. Kamaya having a baby, rearing a child, and realize the bond between a mother and child. Because sometimes that's what it takes for certain people to have empathy. They have to actually put the shoes on. And really, no one should have to wear the shoes of another human being to understand their emotions, their feelings. And that's something I'm learning more and more as I talk about true crime on this network. That some people will never get empathy because they're already empty inside. And I have a feeling that this girl is a bit devoid of emotion, because you can hear that in some of her commentary, the giggling and the laughing during the interview with the lady at First Coast News, when they were talking about how was she bonding with the other three mothers. Everything was funny, giddy, and to me, the interview was off-putting between this lady and her. Very off-putting to me. Because it was too much giggling and laughing when this is really a serious matter. But she was still a child, so her mind is still of a child and actions were still of a child at 18, 19 years of age. And I pray that she has changed. Her disposition and her tone and tongue has changed, because she won't go far in life cursing people out and jumping off, because that's childish behavior, tantrum behavior. As Yaya said, she's not accustomed to people telling her what to do. She's accustomed to getting her way, and that's where all that venom came from, is that of a spoiled child. I thank you all so much for following the content. Thank you so much for watching this segment pertaining to Gloria Williams. She received an 18-year sentence. She is in a Florida prison, and I pray that she does every damn day, and she does not get out early, because she doesn't deserve early parole for taking the child. And I don't care that she took a plea. It's principle. You do every year per the years that girl was missing from her own parents. Please check out my other content pertaining to Chris Watts. Very interesting information I brought, a 3-part series to the Crime Vault pertaining to Chris Watts. Why did he kill his family? The mistress, and also the role of his family. Very diabolical family to me. The tapes that have been released with them talking to him in jail shows you how sinister people are. And it also shows you how sinister people are who enable the killer. That possibly this is why these people act the way they act. It's because it's genealogy. It's in the genes. Taught behavior. Maybe others didn't see it at the time, but some of the disposition of the machine is taught behavior and genealogy. It's in the blood. Thank you so much for joining me. You all have a wonderful week. God bless all of you. I'll be back with more stimulating conversation and content. This is Crime Vault, an extension of Everyday Shenanigans. Like, share, subscribe. If you'd like to donate to the channel, $ Big Angie 129 Cash App. God bless all of you. Stay safe. Yes, please listen in, Tennessee Rose. How you doing? Hello, everybody in the chat. Thank you all so much for holding on, listening. Not many viewers, but that's okay. It's a great day in the neighborhood. You all be safe out there. Please, yes, please check out my 3-part series on Chris Watts. If I get any more information that I think is valuable to that storyline, I'll do another video, which will be installment number 4, because I'm still, wrangling with all the information I've gotten pertaining to that storyline. It's just very, very baffling, all of the information pertaining to this story. Chris, his family, Shanann, I was calling her Cheyenne, excuse me, Shanann, and the girls. Just very disturbing news. One of the mods want me to talk about the Daybells. I told her yes, but I don't know if I want to go into that Chad Daybell and Lori conversations because it's going to be very winded, and there's no way I can cut. I would be able to do a Crime Vault video. It would just be too winded with all the information because they've done too much stuff. Too many crimes have been exacted by the 2, plus the layout of the storyline with the children. It would just be so winded. I'd have to break that up in day-for-day videos because it's too winded information. But anyway, thank you so much. Please go on my community page and check out the information I've uploaded pertaining to Gloria Williams. If you need verification for the information and the source, everything is via the YouTube queue. It's a very baffling story. And like I said, I don't think she has any remorse, because the fact that she asked for a reduction in her sentence shows me she doesn't feel like the crime is that big of a deal. And to ask the judge to cut the time lets me know she doesn't have any remorse for stealing the baby out of the hospital. She doesn't have any remorse. She has, what do they say? She's sorry for being caught. She's mourning being caught, mourning not being around her daughter to continue the lie. But she has no remorse for stealing the child and harming the child's disposition down the road and lying to her, and also the pain she caused the parents and their family members. She doesn't care. She's like most of the machines in true crime. She has no remorse. She has no empathy. Thank you for joining me. This is Everyday Shenanigans.